Doing Baylen's hair and trying to put these hair clip-ins into her hair.
It's a struggle.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
Getting my hair done, getting clip-ins.
Just sitting still in general is not good.
It's not good.
Okay, so obviously we're into week 2 now of Baylen Out Loud, you know what I mean, season 2, episode 2. And obviously, you know, I'm here to learn more and more about Tareq herself in particular. But obviously when it comes to Baylen, she's obviously got so many things under that spectrum that it's not just one simple thing. So obviously in this week's episode so far, obviously a new thing that I've discovered that some people you may already know is that getting your hair done can also be challenging as well. You know, and that can obviously be something that can be quite stressful, I guess, for the hairdresser. But I must say that his level of patience for her and wanting to help her is absolutely incredible. And that's something that definitely should be highlighted there, something particular. But then there's this part here that I also find quite interesting as well.
I'm going backwards into the revolving door because I don't want to touch it because of my OCD and having a fear of germs.
And this is why she has to wear, or feels the need to have to always wear long sleeve clothes, so therefore she doesn't have to touch anything. Or obviously he will obviously open the doors for her. Do you know what I mean? Thing is, this is the question that I have for you folks. You know, if anyone actually has Tourette's per se, you know, I would like to know. Obviously, you know, compared to Baylen, do you have as many things going on as her, or do you have less things going on, or do you have even more things, or what things do you have going on that's in relation to her that you can, you know, obviously let me know about, please.
When I hold my tics in at the venue, it's incredibly painful. It's uncomfortable. Come out at once. I'm experiencing a dystonic tic in my foot and in my leg. It's twisting. So when my foot's locked, I'm twisting my ankle to the point where I want to snap my ankle off.
So that's quite interesting. I have to go into the wedding venue itself in particular, and because of the echoes inside of the wedding venue itself, and I guess because she didn't want to, you know, be rude or awkward with obviously with the wedding planners or the event organizers or whatever, she obviously felt the need to hold in the tics. And to find out that the one of the reactions of holding your tics was very interesting. You know, it's as if like holding a tic can obviously give you an outburst to the point where you could even look to potentially self-harm, but not self-harm because, you know, obviously, I think it's very important and very cool that she's very aware of the fact that when she holds them in, there's a side effect. And in this situation here, the side effect is, okay, I have to take my shoes off because I feel like I'm going to snap my ankle off because of the fact that I now need to have like pretty much an outlet because I held in my tics for such a long time. So that is quite interesting that obviously when it comes to your tics, you have to let them out, because if you don't, then it's going to be a problem at some point later on on that day.
I could have a tic attack in front of all my guests because it's pretty much bound to happen when I hold my tics in. I haven't been to one of his games in a long time because there's a lot of things that will set my tics off. For example, I purposely missed the beginning of the game because the silence during the national anthem is a huge trigger for my tics.
So silence is a trigger. That's quite an interesting one, to be fair. I mean, to be fair, I do know that silence can also be something that can force people to feel very awkward. I know some people can't walk into a room and just have silence, you know what I mean? I do know silence can be a big factor to some people, but it is definitely quite interesting to find out, obviously, how silence can also be a trigger for herself in particular, you know, regarding herself. So I do wonder then. So obviously, let's just say, for example, we're in a room, or let's say you're watching pool, snooker, shall I say, for example, and obviously it's dead silent. I do wonder, you know, if that then obviously is going to cause a random outburst, which, very, 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 very interesting stuff, to be fair. One thing that I do actually want to kind of research is how many people out there that are famous that have, you know, similarities to Baylen, because, you know, when you research some like celebrities and stuff, it's crazy what you find out about them. Some of them, like Stephen Fry, Catherine Zeta-Jones, they've both got bipolar. You know what I mean? You find very interesting things, but things that they have to, you know, kind of live with, but also not allow them things to stop them from living their life, you know? Pedro Pascal, he has the anxiety thing, doesn't he? So it's very interesting. I wonder if there's anyone out there who's got tics or OCD or, you know, yeah.
So typically we would recommend using a competing response whenever an urge comes on. Reverse breathing, when you breathe in through your mouth and you hold it. The reason why you're reverse breathing is you're fighting with speaking.
I didn't need to say my tic.
Beautiful.
Kind of cool to learn mechanisms as well that can help her. Very, very cool stuff.
Now, sometimes what happens is if you're speaking and you feel an urge to have a vocalization, interrupts the natural flow of speech, right? So it's okay to do a less intense version of the tic, such as whispering the tic.
Whispering, cool. It's crazy, isn't it? But sometimes the most simplest of things can be the things that can actually help us along the way in anything in life that we can, you know, that we carry with us. That can be a bit of an inconvenience, shall I say?
Camouflage it as a yawn if you want.
That's awesome.
right?
I never thought about that.
Yeah, hearing the echoing. Remember, we also want to eliminate triggers. Maybe go look at venues that are outdoors, so you won't have that feeling of
Being like trapped almost.
It's like a claustrophobic maybe type feeling. Yeah.
Honestly, it sounds like such a brilliant idea. And let's be real, a lot of people do enjoy weddings outside, you know, just got to find the right location and make sure the weather's good. But yeah, that'd be definitely a good way of removing the echo. But I do wonder, is there anything that could be outside that could also trigger her tics? I do wonder that as well at the same time, though. But being outside does right now sound as if it'd be far better than being indoors with the echo. Or maybe you find a venue that doesn't have echo. But then again, you can argue and say that venues have echoes because if you view one by yourself and there's only a few people in the room, it's going to echo. But usually, if you go to any venue and it's now been filled up with a bunch of people, usually it doesn't actually echo. Do you see what I'm saying? So it is quite interesting, though, isn't it? How putting objects or a ton of people into a room can actually remove the echo. But if it's just you in it with lack of objects, because I know, like, even the room that I film in, or, you know, I remember filming it the first time, obviously with nothing inside of it, and the door closed, was like, whoa, it echoes. I had to keep the door open just to make sure the echo wasn't happening. Do you know what I mean? And also start to add more things into the room as well, which definitely helped. But there is that part too. But hey, either way though, very interesting stuff. But yeah, obviously, definitely let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And yeah, I definitely hope to see you guys for more of this content, obviously next week as well all the other stuff that I upload. Thank you so much. Peace.